And second in that class was being exhibited by Avery Simon from class 2. First being exhibited by Libby Seiko and second by Parker Long. And in class 3, first by Parker Shala and second by Greenlee Giro.
Oh, very nice. Middleweight division. Been a lot of fun to sort through. I thought those first couple classes, we had a steer in each class that kind of surfaced pretty quickly. That lightweight or the first class in the division, steer that just had the extra balance and pizzazz and symmetry compared to those that were around him out here in the championship lineup. Steer just needs to have a little more oomph and a little more power, and just not quite there yet in terms of maturity and market readiness. But congratulations to that young man. A good solid steer that comes in there second. Our second class winner, we commented in class, I really like this guy from his hip forward. He's got a great rib cage. He handles extremely well. He's got a pretty adequate top shape. He's really good in terms of his finish. His front end balance is exceptional. We need to change him a little bit out of his hip and hind leg, drop his flank, give him a notch more power through the rear third of his body on a proportional basis. But that's an awfully good kind of calf that's sound and fresh and good touching, and certainly has a lot of quality. Really heavy muscle, one that was second to him that's a little coarser in his makeup. We just talked about this pair of heavier weights in this division. The yellow steer is my kind in terms of body shape and rib, big top, square behind, got plenty of power and a little more moderate, a little beefier kind of a package than the steer that was second to him. Is ultra good in his top, tremendously high cutability steer with lots and lots of muscle, just like to moderate him some and open him up relative to the yellow one. Nice set of steers. Put your hands together. We're going to use the two out of the third class. Will be your grand and reserve middleweight.
The results of Division II, our champion is being shown today by Parker Shala. His award is sponsored by John and Linda Colbert. And our reserve is shown by Greenlee Giro, sponsored by Schneider Family Farms. Coming into the ring, we have our final division, starting with Class 1 of Crossbred Steers, Division 3. We have Sophie Seiko, Jake Burdo, Aspen Siren, Grant Burdo, Zach Hodgkiss, and Kellen Giro. We do want to recognize Sophie Seiko as being one of our senior 4-H members, our graduating seniors for 2026.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're enjoying the show and the weather today. We've got several special guests who have come to the Great Washington County Fair to see you and our kids in action and our great facilities. But I want to especially introduce the new president to Iowa State, Dr. Cook. Iowa State University, is our big parent to 4-H and our program, and so happy to have them here. And we're going to let him just say hello to you.
Well, hello, everybody. I hate to interrupt this great event, but just wanted to say hi. So I was born and raised in Ames, Iowa, and I'm blessed to be back home to my home state to be president of Iowa State. And one of the big priorities for me is just getting out and listening and learning from all of you, what Iowa State can do to make your community better, what we can do to make the state of Iowa better. And so everybody here has been great listening sessions, great relationship building, and really looking forward to working together and learning more about your community. So thank you, thank you, thank you. What an amazing fair too, so really appreciate it. So have a great day.
Good class. Good class of heavyweights, and I think a particularly high-quality red one here to lead this. Kind of fits the we've been trying to emphasize and look for. Just a good, practical, big-bodied steer that's got some muscle and mass about him, yet sound enough in terms of his skeleton. Maybe not quite as extreme in top shape as a couple others we've had out here, but man, that steer is put together in terms of his body shape, in terms of his balance, and yet stout enough in terms of his makeup. Congratulations to that young lady. Second and third, we just got more beef steer, and the steer in second, he's quite a bit bigger bodied, he's softer flanked, he's got more mass as you study him from fore to rear. Maybe just a nickel plane as the way his pieces fit together, smooth him up and square him up compared to those that stand on either side of him, and he'd be a little showier, but there's nothing wrong with that steer in terms of his practical aspects. He's good at the ground, he's muscular, he's big ribbed, and he's finished. like those things about him. A little fancier, a little square built steer comes in here third. Good in terms of his lines, just a little extreme in his pattern. Just need to blow him apart through his chest and rib, give him more substance and more mass to compete with that pair that's right ahead of him. Those young ladies have worked hard. Congratulations to them. Another good feeding steer that comes in here fourth. He's big bodied, he's well finished. Like to set his rear leg just a little differently to make him ideal. Pair of steers on this end that don't have quite as much muscle, quite as much product in them. I appreciated the finish on the steer that of this particular pair. A little more extreme steer to wind up with. We'd like to moderate some. Give those kids a nice hand here in our first class of heavyweights.
The results of Class 1 of Division 3, we had first with a purple being exhibited by Keelan Giro of Riverside Ramblers. Second with a blue to Aspen Siren of Kyoto FFA. Third with a blue to Sophie Seiko. Fourth with a blue to Zach Hotchkiss of Green Acres. Fifth with a blue to Jake Burdo of Franklin Cubs. And sixth with a blue to Grant Burdo of Franklin Cubs. Next, coming into the ring, we have our second and final class of Crossbred Steer Division 3. In this class, we have Tyler Lukuski, Eve Stoutner, Madeline Siren, Sarah Burdo, and Lucas Bender.
Well, here in our last class, certainly a lot of things to talk about and discuss. I think the young lady steer we start with puts a lot of positive things together from a composition standpoint. He's a muscular, good-bodied one that handles really nicely in terms of shape and spread down his top, in terms of dimension from behind. He's particularly better in terms of his top line and his four-ribbon flank than the yellow steer in second. Now, he's not perfect in terms of his skeleton. I'd like to clean his joint works up. He's got in his left rear is not ideal. But in this particular class, I think we have to accept that based on all the other things we talked about. The yellow steer, I think, is most similar to him, a little bigger in his kind, maybe not quite as fresh, doesn't handle quite as well from a finish standpoint, but I like his extra cutability. I like his extra muscle shape compared to the steers that stand behind him. The steers behind him are awfully good finish steers, which we'd expect here in our heavyweight class. Cattle that certainly have a lot of potential from a grade standpoint, yet some steers we'd like to see just a little more shape and cutability too. Great big 1,700 pounder that's actually maintained his weight reasonably well, round out the class. Well-fed steer that needs a shot more product. Give these kids a nice hand as we conclude our individual classes here in your steer show.
Our results of our Division 3 Class 2, we had blue and first going to Eve Stoutner of the Lime Creek Live Wires. Second with a blue to Tyler Lukuski of the Washington Go-Getters. Third with a blue to Madeline Siren of Mid-Prairie FFA. Fourth with a blue to Lucas Bender, 76 Progressives. Fifth with a blue to Sarah Burdo of the Franklin Cubs. We'll now be having our championship drive for Division 3. In the ring for this will be Kellen Giro of the Riverside Ramblers and Aspen Siren of Kyoto FFA from Class 1. From Class 2, Eve Stoutner of the Lime Creek Live Wires and Tyler Lukovsky of the Washington Go-Getters. The awards for this division are sponsored by, for the champion, Rick and Judy Giro, and the reserve, Schneider Family Farms. Following the conclusion of the overall Grand Championship drive, we will be recognizing the champion carcass production classes for market steers and market heifers. We'll also be recognizing rate of gain champions for steers and heifers. For those, we will just need the top exhibitors who are listed in the program. For the top 10 to come to the ring for those. We will just need the exhibitors for the carcass scan and for the rate of gain. We will do that immediately following the overall grand champion and top 5 selection. Following that, we will be moving right into showmanship. We'll start with senior, then intermediate, then junior.
Well, as we've worked through, I think, a good set of heavyweight crossbreds to represent this division that are going to be certainly competitive as we get them back out here in our grand drive in a minute. Pair of heavyweights we just talked about, I think compositionally they're the right kind of cattle in terms of muscularity, rib shape, and finish. Unfortunately, both those steers have got some things we need to change from a skeletal structure standpoint relative to the ideal, but that doesn't take away from their composition. I like this red steer quite a bit, just really solid all the way through in terms of being one that's good bodied, fresh, handles good, got some shape and muscle and soundness, and great body. The second place out of that first class, I think, is very similar to him in terms of muscular shape, just a little piecier and a little rougher, but still awfully sound and a good practical kind of steer. Put your hands together. We're going to use the two sounder ones out of class 1. Will be your heavyweight champion in reserve.
The results of Division 3, our champion was exhibited by Kalanjiro and our reserve champion by Aspen Siren.
Good afternoon, everybody. As we're getting the final drive lined up, we have a finale of a contest that has been going on here during Fair Week. So it's called Top Stockman. And the contest is designed as an all-around competition for our beef competitors to showcase their cattle knowledge, their verbal and written skills, as well as livestock judging and herdsmanship. So in the knowledge section, they had to do a multiple choice quiz. Each contestant had to do a video that they did that answered the question, what is your future in the cattle industry? They also had to create a stockman plan. So that was a written and a graphic format that showcased any part of their production that they chose to do. We didn't get to do livestock judging here this year, but it is a component. So, and then lastly were their herdsmanship skills. We put all their scores together and we come up with one grand winner. So they get a belt buckle, they get a banner. The belt buckle is donated by Kelowna Realty. The banner is donated by Brian and Ben Lentz. They get $100, which is donated from all these people in the red shirts. So our winner this year is Covert Griner. You can get it from the lovely lady there.
Here in just a second, we're going to get started with our Grand Championship drive. Our Produce Market Steer champion is exhibited by Ethan Hodgkiss. Our Market Heifer by Cohen Giro. Our Champion Angus by Preston Ford. Our Charlet by Greenlee Giro. Our Kiania by Parker Shalla. Main Anjou by Riker Giro. Our Red Angus by Tate Sheets. Our Shorthorn by Brooklyn Schneider. Our Simmental by Tucker Janicek. Our All Other Breeds by Eliana Hahn. Single Source Champion, exhibited by Mason Schneider. Our Division 1 champion, Libby Seiko. Our Division 2 champion by Parker Shala. And our Division 3 champion by Kellen Giro. Let's give all of these exhibitors a round of applause. Our top 5 will receive overall awards from the Washington County Cattlemen's Association. The grand champion will receive awards sponsored by Peck Trucking Incorporated, belt buckle in memory of Howard and Shirley Bohr, an embroidered chair by Lenz Show Cattle, Brian and Ben Lenz, a cash award from the Washington County Cattlemen's Association. The reserve champion will receive an award sponsored by Rick and Judy Giro and a cash award from Bohr Farms. Third, fourth, and fifth will be receiving awards sponsored by LCB Feeds, Tom and Julie Evans family.
folks, we've had an awesome steer show starting throughout all the breeds as we started and worked our way through, and I thought very practical, good kind of cattle that suited me well in terms of ones that have the right kind of body shape and they're muscular and handle right and are market ready and compositionally right, yet got the balance and look and skeleton we're looking for. I think it's very competitive on the top end. We're restricted just a little bit here by ring size, and so what I'm going to do is go through and just shake the hands of some cattle, and we're going to dismiss a handful so we can get down to business and closer evaluate kind of the top end that's in contention. But as we do that, put your hands together and congratulate these young people for an awesome job. folks, we've had an awesome steer show today, and it's been my distinct pleasure and honor to have the opportunity to come home, so to speak, and be with you in Washington County. Get to come back after a couple years ago, and unfortunately, I think it was last year we had a conflict and couldn't make it. So I'm and have the opportunity to work with your young people. Let me back up, and I didn't do this yesterday or Tuesday, excuse me, and I regret that, but special thanks to Stephanie and Lyle as your superintendents, all the folks that work here in the ring and behind the scenes. Folks, you're blessed to have great volunteers. Put your hands together and say thank you to them. I didn't say this on the mic Tuesday either, but several people asked me since I left and said, how was the heifer show? And I said, it was incredible. And I'll be honest, I have judged state fairs that do not have the kind of heifer lineup in the Grand Drive that you had on Tuesday. And so hats off to you folks for an awesome job. The steer show's much the same way. I think tremendous quality up here on the top end in several of these breeds, and I tried to call them like I see them, and I think lots of you know what kind of cattle I like and what kind of sheep and goats I like, and I try very, very, very hard to stay true to my type and kind. I'm normally not a big person of a lot of words, but I got to tell you that I get asked a lot. As they said in my bio, I've been tremendously blessed and get to do this all over the country. Very, very blessed. And part of the reason I get to do that is because I am very blessed to be a native of Eastern Iowa, right up the road, and have that kind of upbringing that these same young people in this ring have. The same upbringing that you young people that showed pigs yesterday, sheep and goats or heifers on Tuesday, rabbits the other day. We're all very blessed. We are blessed to be Iowans. Trust me, I've moved away. You're very, very blessed to have that. So the opportunity to come home, share a little bit with these young people is very, very humbling, and just been a blast to have the opportunity to work with them. You got great folks. Young people, the thing I'd say to you, you know, you had 108 steers here today. There's lots of places, including many state fairs, that don't have 100 market steers. I think that says a lot about Washington County, about where we're at in terms of the center of agriculture. Young people that are standing around the ring and in this ring, you don't realize it right now, but a decade from now, you'll look back like many of us do and realize how fortunate you are to be in this ring, to be raised in this business, to be raised in agriculture right here in Eastern Iowa. I'm proud to be one of those people, proud to be here today and contribute a very small piece to a really important program. Awesome steers. I think there's 3 of them which are really nice, 4 of them actually, that are going to be 1st through 4th and 5th. It's my personal preference. I'm not going to talk anymore about the cattle. This is about the young people who have been tremendous. So, folks, put your hands together one more time. We'll get you a grand steer and a top 5.
Our grand champion today is exhibited by Parker Shalla. So coming into the ring will be Greenlee Giro. Our reserve champion is exhibited by Greenlee Giro. Our third place overall goes to Keelan Giro. Coming in, will be Aspen Siren. Our fourth place goes to Cohen Giro. Coming in with a reserve from the Market Heifer class is Brock Thoman. And our fifth place goes to Parker Shallow. Let's give all of these exhibitors a round of applause as they leave the ring. All right, we are going to start with our carcass. We are going to recognize our top 10 for carcass. We are next going to be recognizing our carcass scans for steers and heifers. So I will need the following individuals to be ringside. I need Lucas Bender, Avery Janacek, Tate Stumpf, Blake Sheets, Zach Hotchkiss, Cooper Strand, Kennedy Long, Madeline Siren, and Leah Kelly. I need Clayton Bartholomew, James Montz, Layson Montz, Adrian Blavelt, and Taya Bombi. We're going to do our carcass scan first, so I need all of those individuals. You can come on out into the ring. The top 10 carcass steer and heifer will have their cash donors for this year include the Libertyville Savings Bank, the Washington State Bank, Peck Trucking Incorporated, Andy Coldhurst in memory of George Coldhurst, FCA and Vision Ag LLC, Birdo Farms Incorporated, Greg and Heather Cook family. The top 10 carcass steer and heifer ribbons are sponsored by Dahlmeyer Farms. So here's what we're going to do. I'll start with the 10th place and work our way up for the steers. If you will just step out when I announce your names, we'll go from there. So for our steers for the carcass scan, 10th place goes to Leah Kelly. 9th place goes to Madeline Siren. 8th place goes to Kennedy Long. 6th and 7th place goes to Cooper Strand. 5th place goes to Zach Hotchkiss. Fourth place to Blake Sheets. Third place to Tate Stumpf. Our steer reserve champion goes to Clayton Bartholomew. And our steer champion goes to Lucas Bender. For our heifers, we are going to start from fifth place for the heifers. We need Taya Bombi to step out, please. Fifth place is Taya Bombi. Yes. Fourth place is Adrian Blavelt. Third place goes to Layson Montz. Do they not have placings on them? Okay. Our reserve champion for the heifer division goes to James Montz. And our heifer champion goes to Avery Janicek. Let's give all of these a round of applause. We're next going to do our top 10 steer and heifer rate of gain. So some of you are the same people, but if we need some additional people, we'll see what happens here. Okay, so we're going to start with our market heifer, our top 10. In 10th place, we have Lane Shot with a gain of 2.56. 9th place, we have Taya Bombi with 2.58. Adrian Blavelt in 8th with 2.73. Kale Schneider, 7th place with a 2.79. All right, so we'll start over on market effort rate of gain. So 10th place, we had Lane Shot. Please step out when we say your name so that we know who to hand things to. All right, 9th place goes to Taya Bombi. 8th place goes to Adrian Blavelt. 7th place goes to Kale Schneider. 6th place goes to Layson Montz. 5th place goes to Sarah Berto. 4th place goes to Kaylin Eldridge. 3rd place goes to James Montz. 2nd place goes to Avery Janicek. And 1st place goes to Jake Berto. All right, now we're going to do the top 10 rate of gain for the steers. Oh, I'm sorry. I should have said what the top rate of gain was in the heifers. Top rate of gain in the heifers was 3.47. All right, 10th place for rate of gain for steers. We have 10th place to Kennedy Long. 9th place to Logan Hotchkiss. 8th place to Clay Adrian. 7th place to Madeline Siren. 6th place to Cooper Strand. 5th place to Zach Hotchkiss. 4th place to Blake Sheets. 3rd place to Clayton Bartholomew. 2nd place to Tate Stumpf. And our champion for rate of gain goes to Lucas Bender with a 4.86 rate of gain. Let's give all these exhibitors one more round of applause as they leave the ring. We're going to get started with senior showmanship. The award for the top senior showman is sponsored by the Craig and Jody Beinhardt family. The reserve award is sponsored by Schneider Family Farms.
three hardworking seniors here in your senior showmanship division that all do fundamentals really well. I've had a chance to visit with each one of them. A little bit about their project, but more importantly about what their future holds, and that was a lot of fun. I wish them all the best. You know, the young man that wins the showmanship class, he also won the heifers yesterday, or Tuesday, excuse me, really does a solid job, has done so all week with his heifers and his steers, has a lot of presence about him, very, very natural in the way he approaches things, very smooth, and it's obvious he's put in tremendous amount of work because those cattle cooperate. He understands how they look well. Congratulations to him. Young lady in second, her calf maybe didn't cooperate quite as good here in showmanship. I remember her from class because she probably showed her way up into second hole compared to third or fourth just based on showmanship. Does a really solid job. Young man in third does extremely good too. We're working a little on feeding leg placement, but let's congratulate our seniors for a job well done and an excellent week here at Washington County.
The results of our senior showmanship class, we had our champion going to Brock Thoman and our reserve champion to Kennedy Long.
Well, folks, a great group of intermediates here, a little bigger class that have enjoyed working with them. Several of them when they but all of them obviously in the steer show and been lots of fun. They've been courteous. They're having fun. They're smiling, and that's what it's all about. You know, we talked the other day about what's showmanship for me. I don't. It's pretty simple. Make the calf look its very best. I could care less how you go about it. I don't care how you hold the halter. I don't care how you hold the whole show stick. What I care about is what's the calf look like. Where are the feet and legs? How is the head elevated on the move? Have we got them up? Do we have them in position? Do we make that calf look its very best all the time? And that's what I care about. And so try to go through and share with each exhibitor a thing or two that they did very well, a thing or two that maybe they could work on moving forward. So been a lot of fun to work with them. I think you got a trio of them in my mind that we could use in about any order. Unfortunately, we're just going to pick two. So put your hands together, please. Congratulate these intermediates, and I'll show you a champion in reserve.
Our champion intermediate showman today is Greenlee Giro, and our reserve champion is Covert Griner. Irwin Farms sponsored the intermediate champion award, and Schneider Family Farms did the reserve.
last official class in your cattle ring steers and heifers. I want to say thank you again to Washington County for inviting me and the opportunity to come and work with your young people. And we're finishing on a great note, a great group of juniors that have worked hard and really have a good attitude about them, and they've been a pleasure to work with. They all do fundamentally really well, and obviously got some cattle out here that are a little tired, not cooperating quite as well as we'd like them to. But again, it's probably as important as any they get the opportunity to practice, put all that practice to work here in a showmanship competition and the steer show today. So encourage them to keep their head up and keep working hard despite how things went for them. They've been a lot of fun. Put your hands together for them one more time. We'll get your champion in reserve junior.
Our junior champion for showmanship goes to Lane Schott. His award is sponsored by the Live family, Libations on Iowa, and our reserve champion goes to Callie Cook, and her award was sponsored by Schneider Family Farms. This concludes the 2026 Washington County Market Beef Show.